That's the best one yet. Might have been our best one yet.
I feel pressure to do it on Rhythm in person.
Yeah.
Like when we're just on the Zoom, we're never gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why, but we just literally can't do it. In person, it would be embarrassing if we were off Rhythm.
Right, because we look at each other. Also, but the weird part of the Zoom thing is that there's no delay anyway.
I don't understand why, but it is. I'd be curious. I mean, I should go back and listen to the last one just to see how it sounds.
Yeah. No.
Probably off.
Probably off. Yeah, I don't think it was our best effort. Welcome on in. It's the Clap Your Hands podcast presented by Coors Light. Eliot, Shorr-Parks, and Jack Fritz hanging out on this Thursday morning. Sixers lose last night.
They did.
But I got to be honest, Eliot, like, I don't care.
All right, so I do care, but go ahead.
I don't care what, like, all that matters right now. Like, nothing matters until Embiid gets back. So, like, They played hard. They went right down to the wire. And they lost. They got out-rebounded. They got out-physical. That's what the Heat are. They got out-heated by the Heat.
So I thought last night was really bad. It was a very winnable game. You had the Heat at home. Mm-hmm. They did not have Jimmy Butler. Like, they were a banged-up Heat team. Obviously, you're missing Embiid, but they had control of that game for a lot of it. Like, they were only down 5 or 6 in the fourth quarter after holding a lead for most of the first 3 quarters. And that's a game, like, you have to win. I know you say it doesn't matter until Embiid comes back, but it does matter. Like, they have to win games, unless you don't care if they're, like, the 10 seed or the 9 seed. Ideally, you avoid the play-in, you avoid the top 2 seed. And last night was a really good opportunity to do that, because had they won that game, you would have won 3 in a row going into the All-Star break. You get some of the guys back after the All-Star break, although I think there's an interesting discussion to be had about Toby and his role in the team moving forward. But
you just want to bench him?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But I guess what I'm saying is this was one of the winnable games.
It was winnable. I get that.
The schedule gets much tougher, as we've talked about. And so, like, this was a game they dropped. And that's what's really disappointing. And frankly, it's disappointing that, like, Maxey didn't win it for him. Like, Maxey, again, in the fourth quarter, like, wasn't great.
The war on Maxey coming out of you.
I just don't get how you can diminish it as a meaningless loss. Like, the games do matter until Embiid gets back. Like, they just do.
For seeding, yeah.
Seeding matters.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
They'll steal some games here or there.
I don't know if they will.
They're not going to lose every game during this stretch. All right, Buddy's here, okay?
I think they're going to go, like, 5 or 6 games under 500. 7 games under 500.
All that matters is staying afloat. Just stay afloat.
But I don't know if that's staying afloat. Like, if they last night was about staying afloat. I agree. That was like a winnable game at home, and they blew it. So if they can't win that one, how am I going to have confidence that they can beat Boston or Milwaukee? They beat the Cavs, but we all know the Cavs are frauds.
I know, but the Heat might be frauds too. I mean, who
I agree. I agree. That's why it's disappointing they lost.
No, it's just like, but it's after they beat the Cavs, you're like, everything. They're fine. They lose one game to the Heat.
Yes,
it's an NBA season, dude.
Yeah,
it's an NBA season.
My opinion of the team has not changed based off of it. I'm just saying that's a bad loss.
Sure,
it is a bad loss.
Sure,
yeah.
But it doesn't.
It's not just like wipe your hands.
We'll wipe the hands and not.
Yeah.
I have an announcement to make, and I think it's very important because obviously we do this podcast and important statements matter. Yeah. I'm back in on the Sixers. I'm back in on the Sixers, and I think
so. You're me last pod.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was hesitant about the Buddy trade,
mm-hmm.
and I feel like we're just seeing a different version of Buddy than we've seen in his entire NBA career. Like, we're seeing a guy who will just pull up from everywhere, which is fine, but he's also like taking guys off the dribble, moving the basketball in a semi-meaningful way.
He's averaging like 7 assists.
Yeah.
I think, or 6 or something like that.
And he's shooting at a ridiculous clip.
Mm-hmm.
And I leave last night way more excited about him and Embiid than, like, they lost to the Heat.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's so funny where we're at with Buddy. And it's only because he's new. He's been here for 4 games.
For sure. Yeah.
But, Maxey scores 30 last night.
Yeah.
And the reaction last night is, but Buddy, like, he's obviously the guy. It's like, he
had fewer points
than Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
But I think when Embiid gets back, they have a chance, like a legit chance. So as long as they don't, like,
legit chance to do what?
A legit chance to go to the finals.
Wow.
I really believe that.
So
I think of, and this, I know I do high hopes. I know you're, Mr. Eagles green goggles guy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Powder blue goggles over there.
Yeah. Fair and objective.
Right.
I think of all the teams in the city, I think they have the best chance in 2024 to win a title.
Okay.
And I know that's usually an Eliot, Eliot opinion to have.
I'm sure it'll go over well.
Well, I'm thinking about leading with it too.
Yeah.
But because I look at them and, like, I look at how this thing's going to shake out, and Maxey like doesn't have to be the alpha right now because Buddy's here. We talked about that last podcast.
Right.
I think when Embiid gets back, the Buddy and him 2-man game is going to be ridiculous to where Maxey can kind of just go be Maxey and let him do Maxey things. But I think that works. Toby, I'm not putting any more pressure on Toby than I need to put on.
I think he should be on the bench. Yeah.
I feel like Toby, and I will get back to it. His game is so much like Kevin in The Office when he's carrying the pot of chili.
Yeah. It's just gonna fumble it.
It's like when he put the pressure on him.
So well intentioned
to do that.
Yeah.
And then it's like anytime Toby's like relied upon, I think that's the result that we usually
Unfortunately, I would agree with you on that.
And like I think Batum feels more like they're just like, hey, you're 36, calm down.
Right.
Like, we'll get to you in the postseason.
I hope. I mean, he's been out a little bit now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So this is obviously dependent upon health, but Maxey healed Toby, Batum, and Embiid. Not bad.
I agree.
And then like, listen, do I want Lowry playing 25, 28 minutes a night? Absolutely not.
Right.
But 15 minutes a night of Kyle Lowry, like I think that's an upgrade from Pat Bev, even though like I think Pat Bev does give a lot defensively.
Some Pat Bev pod thoughts, by the way.
Okay, I did not listen.
I did.
Yeah. Well, listen, you said last podcast you got a lot more time.
Yeah,
the Eagle season, so
why? Yeah,
you're consuming more content. But a bench of Lowry, Melton, Oubre, Cove, Paul Reed, or if you want to do KJ Martin instead of Cove.
Yeah.
Like
that's a great bench.
That's a really good 9. That's a really good 8. And I think when we get into the postseason, they have a better chance of like, okay, Buddy, you can go help us get a bucket, and B, the pressure's kind of off with guys around. And maybe, I can't tell if I'm putting too much stock into what Buddy's doing because I know it could come crumbling down. But I also don't think he's been used like this anywhere else. Like Indiana, he's coming off the bench, and like they have Benedict Mathurin off the bench. They have Andrew Nembar coming off, or he's starting now. But they have
look at you dropping names.
Aaron Naismith is emerged as one of their guys. In Sacramento, it's freaking Sacramento. Like
I agree.
At least the beginning, the last couple of years they've been good. But that was after they got rid of him.
Right.
With Sabonis or with Halliburton. So we might be seeing a different version and a more unlocked version of Buddy Hield, and I think it changes a lot for this.
All right, I wasn't expecting this, so let me process all this.
Yes.
All right, I think that you make a lot of really good points, and I agree with most of it. So I'll take it like one by one. One, I agree. Buddy makes his team better. I was too negative about the Buddy trade.
Me too.
Buddy is a good player. I mean, he's shooting like 45% on 10 threes, which is wild. I do think Buddy is for sure going to come down. Like, I think he's getting the new guy excitement, all that. But he's also, to your point, like he is the guy on this team, and he's never been the guy on the team in the NBA.
But he's also doing this without Embiid. And I think the gravity that Embiid brings is going to help him shooting.
I agree. So and I think your point about the lineup is strong. The bench is strong. Like, that's the best bench they've had in a really long time.
Plus, I didn't even bring up Nick Nurse.
Yeah, and Nick Nurse, right? And I think another point to be made is the East is not that good.
No.
Like, the Cavs are frauds. The Knicks, who knows? But they're injured and all that.
Also, like, they're not losing a playoff series to the Knicks. I'm sorry.
I agree.
And they've been relaxed over there. I see you.
Are you a Knicks fan, James?
No, he's just well, they are the Nova.
That's
Knicks.
true. They're the Nova Knicks, yeah.
But also, like, they're doing this without Randall. And when Randall is a generational loser.
I agree.
Generational.
I do not think the Knicks will beat the Sixers. But like, and I can't believe how we're flipping sides here on this. You have to be honest and say you have no idea what you're getting from Embiid.
I know.
Right. So your point is correct that if you get the Embiid they've had all season, they absolutely have a chance. And they've improved the roster. And as much as it pains me to admit, because I cannot bring myself to like him, like campaign
stinks.
Yes. But like Buddy was I do think Morey had a good trade deadline in retrospect. But
Plus, you have to factor in Lowry to his trade.
But I think there's too many unknowns here on the roster. Like, Buddy has never shown it in the playoffs. Embiid, we have no idea what he's going to be. Maxey, I know he had 30 points, and your point is funny about how he outscored Buddy. But he's not been that good. In the last 6 games, he's averaging 21 points. He's shooting 33% from 3. He's averaging 3 turnovers, which is, not an issue he had with earlier.
And he's also shooting more. Like, he's also, like, being asked to do a lot more.
Right.
So that's, like, it's just not that guy. He's not.
No, I agree. But I think, like, you're right about Buddy individually. I think when Embiid comes back, Buddy's role is going to change drastically. So it's kind of hard to like project what he's going to be. And now he's shooting at a really high clip, and I think that is sustainable. Like, he's always going to shoot at a high clip. But he's going to have a different role when Embiid comes back, and especially when Batum is back and Toby's playing and Melton. Like, there are a lot of guys that are going to change how this team looks and how they play. So I agree Buddy is an upgrade. But like I can't I don't see it all coming together. Like, you're counting on Lowry, who's kind of washed. You're counting on Maxey, who has come up small in the playoffs.
By the way, real quick on the Lowry thing, they really like the way that it's being presented.
Yes,
is like they got prime Kyle Lowry.
Well, all right. So Nick Nurse said this, and I'm curious, like, what your opinion of it is. So he said he's never coached anyone that competes harder than Kyle Lowry, and I get that that's like just something people say. But if you're on the Sixers, aren't you like, well, what about me? You're coaching me right now.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
Like, if we got a new boss, let's just use this exact example. Rod's our boss. Spike gets rehired, and in the press release it says, "I've never worked with anyone that works harder than Spike." What would your reaction be?
Yeah, I'd probably be annoyed.
Yeah, like, and I get it's not. I get the intention is not a shot.
Yeah.
But I was a little like, all right, relax with the like. He's a great competitor, but you should have like. Hopefully, that's something you're saying about Embiid.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's just. I guess in a hopeful
think he's just
world,
talking.
In a hopeful world, I'm thinking like of his Raptors days. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Where he's just like, yeah, like of the guys I've coached with the Raptors, he's the most.
Right.
And it does kind of show how like he did not want. I don't think he wanted those Raptors guys. Like
Yeah.
DeRozan was available.
Agreed.
Siakam, OG.
He thinks Lowry's the winner.
He's
the
the
group.
winner.
Yeah.
Of the group.
Yeah. So that was a quick side thought. But to your point, like, of them having the best chance in the city to win a title.
Mhm.
First of all, it just shows you don't believe in the Phillies.
No, I believe in the Phillies. I just
Well, in what world, like the Phillies?
the Phillies. They're both. I think the Sixers and the Phillies are both the third best in their league. I just think it's so hard in baseball to like continue to get to the spot. And like
I agree with that. It's hard to do in basketball too. People
even
just
the
don't
Phillies,
give
but
the
the Sixers haven't
credit
been
for it.
there.
Right, but I'm saying the Sixers continually getting back to the second round is not easy.
It is easy.
You just said it's not easy to get back to the same
it's
spot.
much harder for the Phillies to get to the NLCS than it has been for the Sixers to get to the third
I would
round.
agree with that.
The
I'd
first
agree with
round is not that hard. You keep
that. No,
acting
getting to the
Sixers.
getting to the first round is not that hard. Winning it is not super easy.
Who is the best player they've beaten in the first round?
But the point you're missing is because they were getting a top seed, so they were one of the top 3 seeds,
but-
which is hard to do.
Sure. Getting a top seed.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Winning in the first round is not impressive.
Then okay,
But why is it impressive?
because only one other team has done it over the past 8 years.
beat
So
a
yes,
a
make
6
it
through
make
8
it to the
seed?
second round in like 6 out of 7 years or whatever it is. Like that. I mean, if only one other team has done it, I don't see how you could say it's easy.
Because
There's not 14 teams, 15 teams continually winning the first round every year.
who is the best
I
player
agree. They've not
they
beaten
have
great players.
beaten in those?
I agree with that. Well, they beat Nick Nurse,
They beat Nick Nurse. Who was the best player that they beat on that team?
Pascal Siakam.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying they have an impressive playoff win, but you can flip that. Like the Phillies have beaten the Braves, but the Braves might just be frauds too.
They won the World Series.
Mickey Mouse World Series.
It was not a Mickey Mouse World Series. It was not in the pandemic. It was
Eh,
a post-pandemic World Series.
very forgettable World Series.
That's because you don't like baseball.
Yeah. Well, I know I like baseball. I'm just
You're making a point to make a point. I gotcha.
look. I love the optimism on this. I've been on this.
Maybe
island
it's red,
by
white, and
myself.
blue
Goggles, right?
Goggles.
No,
I have.
but I think your point that you're making is correct. They are better than they were 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
But the issue is the main problem is still there, which
so-
is Embiid. Like none of this matters unless Embiid is awesome.
Of course.
Like they are more having Buddy. Maybe they're more likely to win a playoff series without Embiid, and they're definitely more likely to win with Embiid. But if Embiid's not Embiid, then they're not beating the Bucks or the Celtics.
So the nice part about the Embiid thing is, and this is obviously more hopeful than not, is that it's in a perfect world, he's coming back without a tear or anything. Like the biggest thing he's gonna have to come back and is he's gonna have to get in good shape,
right.
and hopefully during this time he doesn't fall completely out of shape. Although it's like impossible to run when you're.
Well, so that's my thing. Like my concern is more he's just going to come back rusty and out of shape, and it's going to be ugly.
But the nice part is,
And then he's going to get hurt again. Is another fear.
well, I mean, I hope not. It's just at least it's not like the last couple of years. It's been he's going into the playoffs with an injury.
Right.
At least this time it's just conditioning.
Or at least he suffered fluke injuries in the playoffs. Like
Correct.
he got hurt versus the Bucks. I'm sorry, the Nets. He got hurt versus the Raptors. Like,
But the nice part about this Embiid thing, and again, we don't know when he's going to get back, but I feel like he's going to be back at least in time for the last 5 games of the year.
I agree.
mean, those are essentially preseason games. I mean, the last 5 games are a joke.
Well, unless they're fighting for a play-in seed, and that's why the loss last night matters.
I know it matters.
Yeah.
It's just like from a standings perspective, I get it. It's just I left it feeling more hopeful about what this team could look like when Joel's back. And sure, I'm in the mindset of I'm getting prime Embiid back.
Right.
But even if I get 85% of like MVP Embiid, that's still an
I
insanely
agree.
good player. So
Yes, yeah.
a lot has to go right. When I look at this team and I think about what the depth they have, some of the veterans they've brought in, the Buddy experience, Maxey continuing to grow, like they have a shot here. The Bucks have been kind of up and down with Doc. They have gotten hot recently. The Cavs are frauds, and it comes down to, do you think this team can beat the Bucks or Celtics? And the Celtics, I'm still not ready to say that, even though
I agree.
We've been anti-Porzingis.
I know, but
they are really good.
Yeah, they're very good, and I just don't know if Joel has it in him to beat the Celtics.
But 2 through 8, I mean, honestly, the 2nd through 6 seed, because I still will put the Sixers in there.
Yeah,
they're all interchangeable.
I
Everyone
agree.
can beat everyone.
Look, I agree. Your point is correct. Like, they might have the best 1 through 9 in the East, and you could argue the NBA. I mean, seriously, if you look at the West, like the top 2 seeds, no one thinks they're legit contenders. The Nuggets,
yeah, but no one thought they were legit last year with the Nuggets, and they ended up being the best team in the
because they got it. They got a easy path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eagles did not have an easy path in 2020.
The Eagles had an easy path.
Yes,
they blew it. The Nuggets didn't. Like, I don't know. But
Jokic is better than Hurts.
Yeah, Jokic is better than Hurts.
All right, yeah. Just want to make sure.
All right, but like, so why? I'm just curious. So I guess your argument would be the Sixers, in theory, are going into the playoffs healthy in a weird way. Like, that's
odd,
right? And there's not many good teams from the beat. Whereas if you look at the Phillies or the Eagles, they still have the whole season ahead of them.
Right, and the Phillies. So obviously,
do you think I have a question. Do you think the Sixers are the best team of the 3?
I think the Phillies are the best team. I just think it's, for me with the Phillies, it's more like, can they really keep doing this of like just getting back? Like,
right.
That's hard to do. Now the Astros have done
agree.
it. The Astros have done it.
Yeah.
I know this is not what you want to talk about. I'm
sorry.
No.
No. But I think your point you're making is what I tried to make about the Sixers. That was just completely diminished.
Yeah,
when I tried
but it's
to make
different when we're talking about at least in the World Series or 1 win away from the World Series.
Right.
Versus the second freaking round.
I get that, but the point I'm making is you're saying it's hard to continually get back. And the Sixers have continually got back.
Got back to nothing. But yes.
No, but to where they were.
Right, but
yeah.
I understand.
Right.
No, and like I hope they can. It's just, we'll see. We'll see with the Phillies. I think they'd be really good. I actually think this is the year they might like compete or win the division, and then we'll see what happens.
I would hope so.
Yeah, enough.
It's so embarrassing for the Phillies. Everyone just writes off the division. No one's like, no chance. Like, what's their payroll in baseball? Top 7? Top 5?
It's top 4.
Okay, so they have a top 4 payroll. They were in the World Series 2 years ago. They were almost there last year. They've beaten the team in the playoffs 2 years, and everyone's like, well, they're not going to win the division.
I know.
It's absurd. The expectations that are put on the Sixers versus the expectations that are put on the Phillies, it's truly embarrassing for the fan base. Like, we treat the Phillies like a kids organization.
Yeah, because they're the best.
It's like, oh, the song's really cool. Like, look at these celebrations. The Sixers win year after year after year, and they're continually looked at as losers.
Phillies are the best.
Okay.
And everyone loves them.
Right.
Sixers. Well, but
it's got to be amazing for the Phillies to play without expectations.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, seriously.
Do you want to know who the leader of that is?
Yeah. You've done it. Congrats. Yes, you've done it.
Of all the things I've accomplished.
Yeah, you making it to the Phillies have no expectations is the best you've done.
We literally just treat Phillies season like, this is fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I'll go have a Coors Light and just hang out at the stadium, and like if they win, who cares? Like,
that's impressive.
Aaron Nola is like the biggest loser this city has seen in terms of playoff performances, and he gets re-signed, and everyone's all happy about it.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's okay. Hey. There's always next year.
Exactly. It's just, you know what? It's just baseball. That's just baseball.
Hey, if they lose a playoff series, it's baseball.
Like, Bryce Harper had one of the biggest choke jobs the city has seen.
There was no choke job.
You lost game 6 and 7.
You just want to make it a choke job to make it about Bryce.
Bryce is the best player.
He was able to affect the game 8 times.
Okay, so if that's true, then he doesn't.
2 games.
But if that's true, then he doesn't belong in the conversation for the best athlete in the city.
But he does.
But you can't.
He's been mostly gone.
But you can't, on one hand, say he doesn't impact the game a ton, and then when it comes to losing, but then when it comes to how much he helps them win, okay.
You're seeing how this works?
Yes, I'm saying it's completely unfair.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Embiid impacts the game more than anyone besides probably Jalen Hurts.
Correct.
Okay.
So he's a loser.
Bryce doesn't belong. Then we agree.
Yeah, no, well, he 100% does. Did you remember Bedlam at the Bank?
Is Zach Wheeler the best Philly?
No, Bryce is the best Philly, but Zach Wheeler,
right.
Zach Wheeler's beyond clutch.
Yeah.
Okay. But by the way, he can only affect the game once every 3 games. So.
Yeah, that's why none of the Phillies belong in the conversation.
0. Zilch? Nada?
None of them.
215-592.
There we go.
94-94.
But, I mean, your point about the Sixers having the best chance to win a title is interesting, and it's certainly a difference from where we were 2 pods ago.
I know.
We were talking about treating the team.
It's over.
It's good to go on roller coaster.
Well, no, it's just I think it's okay to change how your expectations for the team, because when Embiid went down, I wasn't sure when he's coming back. I have a pretty good feeling he's going to be back at least with a week and a half, 2 weeks to play in the season.
Look, I think they have a shot, but I think it's unrealistic.
Well, sure, but it's unrealistic, honestly, for all 3. Well, not unrealistic for the Phillies. I don't know if we're gonna see a title in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, the chance. I agree. Union probably don't have a great chance.
Probably not.
Yeah.
We'll see if South Philly sauce.
South Philly sauce.
If they get a
By
run
the
of
way,
them.
I have a take. This is actually from my old Art of the Take days.
Okay.
So
Your one appearance.
yeah, my one appearance, which was the most talked about appearance in the history of the pod. So clearly it was a hit. All right,
It was like the Francisco Rojas top fives.
dude. All right. So here's my take. So the Flyers just named Sean Couturier, who, by the way, while he's still on the team, I feel like he's been on the team for like
He's been on the team forever.
14 years.
Yeah.
Like, was he on the team with Mike Richards where that like went to the?
I think no, he was not here yet.
All right. So who was that other center they had? What?
Claude Giroux.
Yeah, no, the other one. He like had a brother, I think.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. They traded him to
I think
the
like,
Blues.
yeah,
I think.
whatever. So so they just named Sean Couturier captain.
Right.
Are hockey captains the last true captains in sports? There's one of them. And as much as I thought it used to be dumb they weren't handing the captain out, I do think it was kind of cool that they waited then gave it to him.
Well, it makes you earn it.
Yeah, like the Eagles have like 8 captains.
Yeah, it doesn't
which just
matter.
doesn't mean you have a real captain. I don't even know if the Phillies do captains.
No, I don't think so.
All right, and then the Sixers don't do captains. So I feel like hockey's are the last true captains. in
Yeah,
sports.
I mean the last one that meant a lot. I remember was like the Yankees. They named it.
Yeah.
They named a captain after Jeter.
Right.
You know, but Jeter was like, "Oh, that's the captain."
So he wear a C on his?
I don't know if they wore C's.
All
It's
right.
just like an interpretation.
Yeah.
That guy's the captain. Like Bryce is obviously the captain.
Speaking of the Sixers, our boy Michael Rubin's catching some heat.
Oh yeah,
He's,
the Fanatics jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
It seems like it's not his fault though.
Well, it's always his fault.
All right.
Yeah,
Doing
when you want to blame him, it's his fault.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Joel's life.
Yeah,
Right.
welcome to Joel.
All right, but so to get back to the point,
yes,
I like the optimism. I
Thank
think
you.
you're correct,
Thank you.
and I think they probably won't beat the Celtics, but the Bucks are interesting. Like the Bucks might be frauds, but I just feel like this is all going to end. This will get to my next point. They made a mistake not trading Maxey for Dame. Like that was a mistake. If you put Dame on this team, they are the best team in the NBA by far with a healthy Joel. And Dame, I know, has not been like great for stretches of this, but Dame is going to outplay Maxey in a playoff series, and they're going to lose because of that. And if they would have traded him for him, they would have a much more realistic chance. Morey literally traded away, and I know this is a much smaller asset, but he traded away Springer for a future second because he was like, it's about winning now, and who can help us in the next 2 or 3 years? Well, who helps you more in the next 2 years than Dame or Maxey? Like, it's Dame.
Well, it's interesting because and Spike brought this up yesterday. You know, when Morey
Spike Eskin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. When Morey the report came out of him like just calling the Lakers about
I know.
LeBron.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about
which is
that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And by the way, it does set up for a summer of LeBron.
LeBron's not coming here.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Let me dream.
Oh, yeah. So the Morey thing. Or we'll go ahead. Finish your point.
Well, no, I'm just saying that. So then he also called the Suns about Booker, Durant, and
Yep,
Beal.
I love it.
And Beal would not have caused that. But if the Suns say, okay, yeah, it's not going to be just Toby and picks. Like you would have had to put Maxey in those deals.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that he's willing to trade Maxey, but it was interesting that that's the only way I think that deal gets done is if Maxey.
I think there's a chance Maxey's going to turn into like the next Toby contract, where he's going to be way more inflated than what he actually brings. And if you look at, like, first of all, I don't know if I would max him out. They probably will. It is what it is. But to the LeBron thing with the Suns, like, people on Twitter made fun of Morey, and I get it. It's Twitter. People are really mean. But, like, that's what you're supposed to be doing as a GM. Like, that's what Howie Roseman does. Howie is in on everybody because you always want to know the price. If he saw a little, what was it that LeBron tweeted?
The hourglass emoji.
Yeah, if he saw the hourglass emoji and thinks maybe there's a shot LeBron could be traded, then you call
Of course
about
you call.
that. Right. Would you trade Maxey for LeBron?
No.
Would you trade Maxey for Booker?
Yes.
KD?
No.
Beal?
No.
I think I agree with all those.
Yeah.
Well, I would trade Maxey for KD right now.
Probably people would.
Yeah.
The KD injury stuff is real, So, but like the Booker thing, obviously. I mean,
Booker would be a no-brainer.
in a heartbeat.
Booker is like Buddy, but way better.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing about the this team and their chances this year, what the Bucks did a couple years ago, it was like, yeah, they had Holiday, but then it was like Middleton and Holiday is like the second best player on the team. That's how I feel about the healed Maxey thing. Like now it's a combined, that's your second best player.
So I'm a little worried Maxey and Buddy are a really fun duo, but ultimately are a losing duo.
Yeah, but with Embiid.
Yeah, but I don't know how much I can rely on Embiid.
I know.
So that's where I think we're separating here. I am with you on the path of they have a great 9, like all those things. But where I differ is I have no expectation of Embiid coming back. Like I have completely like I have no thought. If he comes back and plays awesome, like yes, I will be on the pod with you being like you were right. They're gonna be blah blah blah. But I just think counting on anything, like they're not even reevaluating him for another 2 weeks. Yeah. I'd be surprised when they reevaluate. It's like good news, he's playing in 2 days. Like it'll probably be, we had a thing. He's gonna maybe start ramp up if we're lucky, and he probably doesn't play for another 2 weeks. So he's gonna miss like the majority of the rest of the regular season.
Does Lowry sign here if he doesn't think Embiid's coming back and being healthy?
Yes.
You think because of the hometown thing?
Yes. And let's not act like Lowry had like 18 offers.
He had interest around the league.
Yeah, interest around the league. Right. I'd be curious to know what that was. Like, no, I think Lowry's probably. I'm sure they're telling Lowry Embiid's going to come back, but I think he would have came here regardless.
Maybe. But I think it helps that he believes that he has a chance to win here. I'm sure Nick Nurse is obviously a part of that as well. But
I have another Maxey thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who are you questioning more these days, Maxey or Hurts?
So it's tough because I think they're probably the same level of player, but the issue is Hurts like has so much more impact on the game.
Yes.
So I would say I'm more skeptical of Hurts just because I think the task for him is way tougher.
Right.
So Maxey had this quote which was like, all right. So he comes out and he says that he met with the team. It was like, Joel's going to be out. We're all going to have to step up. This is about proving things, blah, blah, blah. And it's being portrayed as like, what a leader. And I agree. Great thing. But if I was his teammates, I'd be like, Maxey, buddy, like you as well. Like, what are you looking at me for? Like, this is on you. Like, no one's looking at this stretch and being like, let's see if like Toby can step up, or let's see if, like these other players, like it's not on Paul Reed. Like, this is all about whether Maxey can step up and be better without Joel. Like, that's it. That's what this whole stretch is about. And he has not done it. And so for this whole thing where this quote comes out, it's like, oh, what a leader. Like, no, like Maxey has been a disappointment over these last 6 games. He's not stepped up with Joel out. So it's nice of Maxey to say, but Maxey, it's not on the other players, buddy. Like, it's on you. And he's not done it.
Oh, come on, man. He's just trying to pull out the Malcolm Jenkins in 2017. So we all we got.
we all we need.
We all we need.
Yeah, well, they're 2-4 in the last 6 games. So.
Not going as well as it did in 2017 when
right.
guys just started playing above their head. I mean, that was the big thing with the Carson injury. And then the Carson injury was like, okay, before Carson injury, it was like, okay, our guy's got us. Like, he'll drive. And that's kind of like Embiid. And now it's like.
Well, all right. Here's a question. Is Maxey closer to Embiid or Buddy?
When it comes to what?
It's like as a player.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing.
But
you're going to max out a guy that you traded 3 second-round picks for?
But he's also like, you're also trying to act like he's like Joel Embiid is one of the 3 best players
right,
in basketball.
But there were times this year, like, so Maxey's an all-star, right? Like, there were times this year where
Iguodala was an all-star. Drew Holiday was an all-star.
Yeah, it's a fair point. But what I'm saying is, like, there were times this year, and I was on this train too, of like, can Maxey be the better offensive player? Are they going to be the best duo in the NBA? And I think it's pretty clear that Maxey is closer to like a Buddy sharpshooter, can score, like can do some things, than he is an Embiid type of like carrying a team.
But also, he's a 6-foot guard. Like
yeah, that's a problem.
I just think that me and you, I think you're so disappointed in Maxey because I think you put unrealistic expectations on him.
Maybe, yeah. I thought he could be like the guy.
I don't think he can. I don't think he's ever going to be able to be the guy. I think he's an important piece on a championship team. And like, he did score 30 points last night.
He did, but they lost. And he had, I think, 4 points in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
I know. I got you.
Yeah.
But like, you think you expect a 6'1" guard to be able to carry this team when Embiid's out. It's not
because he has all the first-round pick. All-star, going to be a max
22nd
contract.
pick.
All right, that's fair.
Everything after 10 is.
That's a fair point by you. But max, he's going to be a max player. He is an all-star, and it's honestly a little like the Phillies, where no one expects anything of him, and it's absurd.
Why is it absurd?
Because he's the second best player on the team.
He's the second best player on the team. That doesn't like mean that much. Like he's not like these other. He's not Jaylen Brown. He's not Booker. He's not Murray. Like, he's not these guys. He's not. Like, he's a very good player.
But that's where I think the problem.
And he's still max worthy.
But I think that's the problem with your whole the Sixers have a great chance to win a title is you're relying everything on Embiid. Like they have no one.
It's not just Embiid. It's Maxey and Hield.
Right.
Those two combined with Embiid is better than they've had in a long time.
So I was thinking about this earlier today. Is Maxey the best player Embiid has played with, or would you say like Jimmy?
Butler still is.
Yeah. Okay.
Butler.
Harden's an interesting one. Harden was pretty good. I mean, Harden scored, won them 2 playoff games, but obviously Had 2 bad playoff
And
games.
won Joel Embiid an MVP.
Yeah, he did.
He did do that. Yeah.
People forget
The
that.
very important Joel Embiid MVP.
I have a Toby thought for you after this.
Okay.
You ready now?
Sure.
Okay. So I think we're past the point of having to play Toby because of his money. He's an expiring contract at this point. The trade deadline is gone. There's no trade value left in Toby. He's not re-signing here. Or if he is, he's certainly not doing it for any significant amount of money.
You don't think they're going to give him $37 million?
No, I don't think he's going to get $37 million.
Really?
So, like, you're not worrying about burning a bridge. This team, I think if you look at, like, what would be the best version of their best 5, and, like, Maxey, Buddy, Embiid, Batum, and then that 5th one, I think, is like up for debate. If Melton's fully healthy, I think he is an interesting case.
So what's your starting 5 then?
So Nick Nurse said who it was going to be, which I thought was interesting. He took Melton out of it. He had Maxey, Buddy, Toby, Batum, and Embiid.
Okay.
But
Makes sense.
I don't know. Like,
Would you rather have Oubre on there over
Toby slows
Toby?
things down. He's an ISO player. Like, he's not that willing of a 3-point shooter. He's not a great defensive player. He's a fine defensive player. Like, I think these other players bring more things. Like, Melton is a better 3-point shooter than Toby is. Now,
Sure.
Granted, I have no faith in Melton to ever make a 3-pointer that matters, but he is a better 3-point shooter. Like, Lowry, if Lowry's playing really well, I don't know, do you put Buddy at the 3? I know he's undersized, and that's a bad defensive, like, 3 there with Lowry, Maxey, and Buddy. But I think they're all better players potentially than Toby, or at least more useful. Like, I don't know what Toby's value is to the lineup. Like, we're not talking about Oubre. Oubre is more athletic. He's a streaky shooter, but
He can shoot him better.
yeah, he needs a more willing shooter for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if Toby's one of the most 8 important players on this team anymore. And it doesn't matter. Like, for 2 or 3 years, you had to play him because of his money, and you had to start him. It's not the case anymore. Like, the owing things to Toby is over. The trade deadline is passed. So I think I might be team like Toby's not a big part of this team moving forward.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just I'd almost be floored by it. Like, I'd be floored if Toby's not starting. And
I guess there's been times this year where Nurse hasn't played him in big moments.
yeah,
Like,
and maybe that's something to decide down the stretch.
yeah.
Because, like, listen, I'm not a Toby defender. I've always just kind of been like, it's cute. There's
Yeah,
Toby.
I think like
What makes a team better? Is it Oubre being able to shoot in the corner or Toby being there?
so I'm sadly turning on Oubre.
Well, in what way?
Well, like I like him and like I'm excited that he's here, but he might be a losing player too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but like this is where I'm having trouble getting a read because you think Buddy's a losing player.
Well, old Buddy was a losing player.
This is a winning player.
This
now.
is the current version of Buddy. I'm monitoring might be a
So
winner.
they have yeah, but I like. Would you rather have Toby on the court in a big moment or Oubre?
I just say it's a lot of expectations on Oubre.
It is,
It's a lot of
but
expectations on Oubre. I probably still would Oubre.
I think I'd rather have Oubre. Yeah,
That's bad.
I think Oubre
So
would be
bad.
less afraid of the moment.
Yeah.
And for what's
They
worth,
have
Toby has a lot of
irrational
playoff.
confidence guys.
He has a lot of playoff baggage.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, none of these other guys do because none of them have been there.
been on
so
good
like,
teams.
so they're entering in eyes wide open.
Would you rather have Toby on the court for a final minute or KJ Martin?
I like KJ, but it would probably be Toby.
It's
Toby. Yeah.
It's still Toby. I mean, it's interesting how the mighty have fallen with Tobias Harris. He was such a winner here for such a long time.
Yeah.
He's gonna have had the least memorable 5-year.
Dude, he has to be one of the
max
longest tenured athletes here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Currently, like, how many players in the Eagles have been here for 5 years? Like, obviously, like Lane, Fletcher, Kelsey, the punter.
PG.
I mean,
the punter's not.
the long
Lovato.
snapper. Yeah. So like 5 or 6 of them. How many on the Phillies have been here 5 years? If you don't, do you count minor leagues when you do that?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, Harper got here in 19.
So he's close.
He's close.
Yeah.
JT got here in
He's
19.
kind of a part-time player.
Oh, he's a part-time player.
So
JT, Nola, Reese
Yeah.
left, so he's gone.
he's gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Toby's-
Bohm.
Bohm came up in 20, so no.
Yeah.
Stock came up in 21, so no.
So Toby's probably top 5 or 6.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Embiid.
again, what's your the most memorable Toby play? But Furkan left. Furkan was here.
Furkan. I do think the most memorable Toby thing is when he said,
I'm an all-star?
"Tell a friend to tell a friend."
See, I think it was I'm an all-star.
Oh, yeah, that was good
To
too.
the crowd where there was no one there.
Yeah, that was good. I forgot
That
about
was a
that.
big one.
Bubble Toby.
And maybe
Maybe Toby.
maybe Crumble Cookie too.
Crumble Cookie was good as well.
It's a big
Yes.
one, but as for on the court, absolutely not. Listen, it's interesting, and I think Nick Nurse. I think he is. I don't think I think he'll just play whatever he feels is right.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm saying. I don't think they owe any more obligation to
No,
Toby.
that's fine.
And I think so. Look,
It's about,
he might
it's about
be out there.
winning at this point.
Yes,
It's about
he
winning.
might be out there, but I think Toby has like kind of lost his place on the team somewhat.
Yeah.
He's also been out for forever.
Again, I just don't care if he plays or not ever. Like he impacts the game so little to me.
Well, except it might be in a negative.
And no, it might be. It might be. What do you think about Lowry jacking Mo Bamba's number?
I like it.
Just came in, said I'm going to be
Mo
number
Bamba
7.
number 5.
I know.
I'm surprised they're allowed to do that.
What?
Change numbers in season like this.
Oh,
I guess
when you get an established vet world champion like Kyle Lowry.
Well, I guess that no one's buying Mo Bamba jerseys. So it wasn't like they had a big stock of Michael Rubin.
Yeah,
They have a big stock of number 7 Mo Bamba jerseys.
No, I don't think.
No, I like going to 7. I like it. I mean, I was thinking maybe 11 because he wore that in high school here.
Yeah, but 7's. But
So where do you go to high school again?
Cardinal Doherty.
And where is that?
I don't know.
Is it in the city?
You're the city guy.
I know. I don't think it's in the city. James is looking it up. I think it's like. Well, actually, it might be.
Started Northeast.
It might be the Northeast.
We started Northeast. That's where Pat Gallen went. I don't know if you know this, but Pat Gallen.
Yeah,
went.
I've heard.
Kyle Lowry played high school basketball together.
Where is Cardinal Doherty?
East Oak Lane, so it's up north.
Okay, yeah. All right, that
so he's
counts.
a city kid.
Yeah, that counts. So maybe I would have gone 11 for him, but 7's fine.
7's fine.
Yeah.
It's how he became established in the league.
I'm excited.
I love when older NBA fans say the league.
Yeah.
I feel like Jimmy Lynam's a big
the coach.
yeah, the league.
I was a little surprised and disappointed he didn't play against Miami.
He's got to ramp up, man.
Ramp up period. He hasn't played, and
yeah, that's why he's got to ramp up.
What's he been doing?
He's been chilling.
Can't be ramping up this whole time.
No,
like just ready to go.
Hey, relax, man.
I'm excited to watch him.
You are a big expectations guy.
Yeah,
always lower the expectations. The sooner you believe, the sooner you're gonna be disappointed.
Look, I've been Mr. Sixers expectations the past few years.
Yeah.
If you want to carry that mantle,
the Sixers have the best chance in the city to go to the finals.
I love it.
That's not saying win.
It's not.
Never say that.
Yeah, just to get there.
Never say that.
All right, if you put the Twitter poll out, which maybe you will, who is the best chance to go to the? Are you gonna put the Flyers?
No.
Okay. I wouldn't either.
I can't argue Flyers, man.
I agree. Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah. Although it seems like they're still good.
Apparently, maybe.
I think it might be in second place.
Yeah, listen, I can always tell when the Flyers are doing good because I get tweets from people to the afternoon show account of, why aren't you talking about the Flyers?
Right.
When
no one can talk Flyers,
when they're playing bad. When they're playing bad, no tweets.
Right. South Philly sauce.
Yeah, listen to South Philly sauce.
Listen to South Philly sauce.
With Ashley and Al if you want to hear Flyers talk.
What's the poll percentage that Sixers fans get? Like Sixers?
3%.
3%.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to listening from 2 to 6
We'll
today.
see if we do it.
Yeah.
We'll see if we do it. I'm in.
All right. Look, they have the best player in the city.
Right.
And they have the easiest path. They definitely do.
Sure.
They're almost in the playoffs. We know what the teams look like. You have
Mhm.
no idea what the Eagles are going to look like. You have no idea, or the path. You have no idea what the
the
Phillies
baseball
path
team
will be.
is.
Yeah, MLB.
The MLB team looks like.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to see it.
All right. So I have a final thought, unless you have more. On
No,
this.
final thoughts.
Okay. So we were texting about this, but I think this is a good topic to bring up. I think we are entering a not so distant future where the NBA title is going to mean more than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I don't understand that at all.
All right, so here's my logic. The Super Bowl, first of all, so baseball, all right, start over. Basketball is a far more popular sport in the world. Like, only in America is football a big deal.
Sure.
Right? In Brazil.
Sure.
But, like, so, and if you look at it, the majority of young people care about basketball compared to football.
This is also what you soccer people do, which is you talk about the world. I don't care.
Well, but
I don't care about the world. I care about here.
Right. But it matters when you talk about like, all right, so if you look at the celebration of the Super Bowl, it's a big deal because it's a one-day event. A lot of people watch Super Bowl that don't care about the Super Bowl. Basketball doesn't have that yet. But I think winning an NBA title means more and is harder to do than winning a Super Bowl. You have to win more games, and more people around the world, including America, care about it.
But it's not America, so whatever. Okay. I think Super Bowl is always like it's held in the highest regard. I think the NBA superstar that gets a title means the most.
Yeah.
From that standpoint of like, okay, you've entered into a different echelon.
Is winning the Super Bowl the easiest of all the titles? It means some teams only have to win 3 games.
It doesn't seem that hard
to do it. Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't
Basketball, you have to win
a bunch of rounds.
minimum 16, and you're probably I guess that's actually what you need to win.
Yeah.
You can't win more than 16.
You can't win more than
16 but you can
games.
play more than 16 games.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
All right. I'm just saying, I'm calling it. I think in like 5 or 6 years.
No, it's not.
Okay.
We always, the Super Bowl said 123 million people watch it.
Yeah.
I know there's like, it's not gonna. The
But to
NBA
be
is
fair,
not
like
gonna
Taylor
surpass it.
Swift's not always going to be there.
You sure?
Well, I don't think in 5 years a Taylor Swift thing is gonna. I
Yeah.
guess maybe she's created a lot of new fans. Is your point?
Well, maybe Travis Kelce's still playing.
Yeah, he honestly.
Still playing. I mean, listen. You can,
By the way, did you see Travis Kelce at the parade?
Yeah.
Dude, he was hammered.
he was having a good time.
He was like, look, I think it's obviously all fun, they drink and everything, but he was like, could barely stand.
Could not
speak.
Could not
yeah.
speak. Could not speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously not a great day at the parade.
Yes.
Yes, that was just like we can't even. It's annoying. It's awful.
Unfortunate.
All right. Well, the Sixers are going to the finals. I don't know. What to
Yeah,
tell you.
there you go.
I know they lost to the Heat last night, but
You're
let me
in
tell-
on Buddy Ball. Buddy
Yeah.
Ball is taking you to the.
Exactly. Buddy Ball is taking this team to a different stratosphere. For Jack Fritz and Eliot Shorr-Parks, we got the you got a big weekend this weekend with the 3-point contest. We'll see,
Yes, that's right.
See how
in the
Maxey
skill
does.
well, he's in the skill competition.
So he's not in the 3-point
He's
contest.
not in the 3-point contest.
Damn it, man! I don't care about the skill competition. I want him in the 3-point contest.
What's harder to win, the skill competition or the 3-point?
3-point?
I think so.
I don't even know what's in the skill. I
think
never watched it.
pass it and stuff.
It's stupid. I think Jokic won it a couple times.
Yeah, that's how you know it's a Mickey Mouse title.
Well, we'll be back reacting to everything next week. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, next week. Next
well,
week.
I'm getting my wisdom teeth out on Monday.
Ooh, I would love to do a Eliot on whatever.
So I have no
painkiller
idea
podcast.
what to make of this. Because on one hand, the doctor says I'll be in and out in 45 minutes. And
But also,
that-
you're gonna be on fire. Your mouth's gonna be on fire.
well, no, she was like, some people go back to work the same day.
Oh no way.
How many are you getting out?
4.
No way you go back to work.
Yeah, we'll see.
You're gonna be unconscious for most of
We'll
this.
see you.
Well, I'm not gonna be unconscious. They're gonna
They're not putting you down.
no, they just give you local anesthesia.
Ooh.
Oh no, I went to sleep. I was out.
Yeah.
How long did you get them? How long ago did you get them out?
2013, 2014.
Okay, so I think interesting. That's
When I
10 years,
turned
but that
18.
that is 10 years ago. Like I think like technology might have changed. I don't know.
You call me old?
Yeah.
Well,
you
yeah.
know,
I have no idea what to expect. I like the
Because I remember my dad got him out, and he was like out of commission for a couple days.
Like days.
so on one hand, I'd be cool with that because like jumpstart my diet.
Yeah.
on the other hand, it might be painful.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we'll see.
hey, I hope you make it.
Thanks.
I remember waking up out of nowhere in like writhing pain, like
Yeah.
pain I couldn't believe. Like,
Thanks.
in my
This is why I was not going to bring it up on the pod.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think it'll be painful, but they're also going to give me medication for the pain.
but then there's gonna be intervals where like the pain, like the medication wears off before like the next one kicks in.
I don't
At
know what
30 minutes. That's gonna.
I don't know what the pain would be though.
It's gonna feel like someone drilled a hole in like.
Okay.
Your tooth is supposed to, it's gonna feel exactly what happened.
Maybe I'll just cancel.
No, don't cancel.
You should cancel.
Don't
Yeah.
Don't get him out.
It's bad for them to. You're supposed to get them out.
No, I know. I'm going to get them out.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
Hopefully you make it through,
Appreciate it.
and we'll give you a nice big round of claps when
Yeah.
you get your wisdom teeth out. We'll be back sometime soon for Jack Fritz and Eliot Shorr-Parks. This has been another edition of Clap Your Hands.